going on, everybody? Let's see. This microphone's a little bit quiet. Well, kind of sharing a single microphone today. The other one's kind of kicked the bucket for now. So I'm going to try to adjust it and try to get it in a better spot. The music you're hearing right now is from a friend of mine named Q. And something that he's been working on a little bit. And I just thought I'd play it to start the show. And welcome. So, this is episode 4. This is Mod Boss. This is can I move over just a little bit? There we go. This is a show about music and music technology, of the informative kind, the kind where you're going to learn something hopefully, or maybe even teach me something. Let me see if I can just swing this over here, pardon me. And I wasn't planning on having, that's better. I wasn't planning on having a overhead camera today, but as I was preparing for this more and more, it seemed like it was going to be necessary. Would you like to say hi?
Hi, I'm Charmaine. Back again.
This is my wife. She's just back from an overseas trip with my daughter. So,
Still jet lagged. This is not my day job.
And, so my name's Will, a.k.a. your neighborhood nerd, also the hip-hop Bob Ross. And if you don't know who Bob Ross is, you need to go Google. So, basically, this is what's going on today, guys. I think I've cracked the code on the looper. If I'm not completely 100% cracking the code, I am so close. And I want to just tighten this up during this episode, because this looper has been basically absent completely from most people's workflow because it's completely useless, for live performing. And, those of you that have been following the channel for a while know that I did do a looper video, which helped quite a bit with most people. And I'll put that in the description. I wasn't able to get it in there before the feed. But I was able to find a workflow that made the looper possible to use in a live environment. But I knew that was temporary. I knew that it still needed some fine-tuning. Here we are. And I think I got it. I think we're there. So what I'm gonna do in this episode is just show you how this works and show you how to set this up, because I only mapped, I think, 2 of the needed parameters. So I want to go ahead and map a couple more, and I got this circuit over here, and this circuit. I can't really bring the brightness down on it, can I? Not without getting into it. So this circuit has got some labels on it, and I put some labels on it. You can maybe see it. Maybe I can turn it down just enough so you can see it. There you go. You can see the labels there. It says kick, hat, snare. Let me get this back up. Snare, so kick, hat, snare, bass, lead, vocal, and then synth. So the reason why I put those labels there is because those are kind of like the normal, parts of a track. So that's how I will keep them organized, because, you're not going to be able, when you're doing this, you're not going to be able to stop and label things. So this is just a bam, 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 and I got this little Volca sample because I want to use an audio source. I want to show the possibilities And these two combined, you can probably find for maybe combined like 300 US. And so if you have a Live or an X and you have, you know, the ability to grab a Volca, you could do live looping with external gear. And I've got some other Volcas. And,
yeah, you went on a Volca shopping spree.
I went on a...
The price was so good, apparently, that I came home to like 6.
Yes, 6, she said.
And then he built a contraption to...
And that's over there. And we'll eventually... Mod Boss will be going to check this out. I've got a lot of stuff I want to show you guys and bring to you guys. My channel is not about gear. It's not about acquiring gear. What this is about is passing on knowledge that I've gained. I don't claim to be an expert. I'm not the type of person that will buy stuff just to buy stuff. I buy stuff, and if it's useful, if I find it, if I find it that it has a place in my studio, then I keep it. If I don't, I sell it. And Reverb is a great place to do that. But
I think you had a hard time doing that at first, though.
Well, the main thing...
The thing of getting rid of stuff or selling them is a difficult
well, especially when you have an emotional attachment to it. I'm gonna bring up some videos in the upcoming Mod Boss episodes, because I was presented with a Moog synthesizer, a brand new Moog synthesizer for Christmas back in 2015 or 14. Mm-hmm. And I didn't own a synthesizer at the time. All I had was iPad apps. And so she surprised me with a Moog synthesizer. And it was a sub fatty. I don't own it anymore because it was just one of those things that you have it, and there's other things that maybe were a little bit more what I needed, like with polyphonic notes and stuff like that. So
he used it for a while, and then I told him to sell it because it wasn't really something that he was using that much or in the way he wanted to.
Yeah.
And he was a little emotional about it, but I was like, just sell it.
I was emotional about it because to me it was that moment. The video, we actually have a video I'm going to bring up here in the next couple Mod Bosses where I'm blindfolded and I'm opening up a box blindfolded. And yeah, it was, I grew up very humble background. So, for me to be able to have anything that's like this value or any of this stuff is something I never ever thought that would be possible. And, thanks to my wife, I'm able to do this kind of stuff.
Well, you've also received stuff that it's not exactly what you thought it was going to be. And then you kind of had to suck it up and be like, well, this is not going to work as much as I want it to work based on what I knew about it before I bought it.
Yeah.
It's this giant piece of machinery that you have to part with and ship back because it's not the right thing.
Oh, what she's talking about is a Moog Voyager. I had a Moog Voyager. I also owned a Dave Smith Poly Evolver. If you know about classic vintage flagship synthesizers, the Poly Evolver is a beast. It is a beast. But I didn't find a place for it in my workflow,
or different pieces were relevant for that period of
more
time,
relevant,
and then you moved on to a different sound or a different type of music. But that way, you also keep the cost down by selling stuff.
Yeah, because you can't just keep. I mean, you can just keep acquiring things and whatnot.
I guess it's not really rich when you look around.
Yeah, so
I think we need to do another cleanup,
possibly. But what we're gonna do is, I'm going to show you guys the old way that I had the looper system set up. And, by the way, the reason why she's here is because you guys have mentioned it so often that I feel like she's kind of a part of this thing now. She may not have a huge role in this video because I don't have a lot of handwritten stuff that I need her to keep track of for me. But hey, if you guys are saying you'd like to see her here, then I'm going to try to keep her here if I can. Lucky you. So, all right. So back to what we're talking about. I'm going to go back and, okay. So this is sequence number 1. there should be, it's kind of hard with this reflection here in my eyes. Let me, 1 second here, let me just turn this. This might be a bad idea. Let's see. Oh, let's see if that was a bad idea. Oh, not too bad. Okay. All right, now I can see the screen. All right, so I'm going to show you real quick. So what... come on. Oh, I'm in audio track. That's why. Okay, so the way that I initially had done the loopers, done the looper video, if you haven't seen it, what you have to do, first of all, before you get started, is you have to open up a blank project, and you need to have it completely clear. You don't want anything on it. This is going to be your deposit. So you're going to, basically, you're going to deposit loops into this program, and it's program number 3. So I'm going to call it the Loop Factory. Okay, this one's the Loop Factory. So the Loop Factory is where I'm going to send these loops in real time. So the first thing that we got to do is we got to make sure that all of these pads right here all trigger on the start of the sequence. So I'm just gonna, I mean, you can go in and manually set them in there if you want to. And I don't have any answers, guys. Like, my way is not the right way. I'm just showing you how I've learned, because I don't learn the stuff I learn, you know, by having it handed down to me. I find these workflows on my own and try to hand them to others. I try to find my own workflows, and instead of, you know, just regurgitating what other people are doing. So I'm just going to go ahead and trigger these right now all at once. So it might take me a second. Okay. Okay, I got some. Okay. Whoops. Okay, am I missing some? Looks like I'm missing a couple. Can you tell which ones I'm missing there?
That one.
Okay. Okay, those are gone. Yeah, I wonder why that's... See, it's... I don't know why. Why is... Oh my God, I know why. You guys are probably yelling at me. I'm recording over it. Okay, now I'm going to do overdub. Pretty good? Are those all going?
Yep.
Okay. I think there's one here. Okay, let me see. Can you guys see that? Okay, you guys can see that. Okay, so basically all the pads here, you could do them all if you wanted to. You could do 8 banks of 16 and set them all up that way. I wonder if I can zoom this back out enough to where you can see those pads. No, you can't. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the looper. And I've got it set up to input 1. Okay, and that's because I've got a, what is that plugged into there? I've got the Volca plugged in here into input 1. So, okay, I can hear that, but is that in the room now? I don't want that. Okay, can you hear that?
Yeah.
I can't tell if it's in the room or if it's in my headphones. Let's try that. Sorry guys, this is a little bit cumbersome. Okay, there we go. Okay, so this is the way that I was doing it before. So you hit, you arm it, and then what you do is you just hit play, and then you play it in. So I'm going to do that, and hopefully it doesn't go too loud here. Let's see. So don't even have a metronome. Let me go back and get my metronome back on. And I'm going to send my metronome out of a different port because you guys don't want to hear that. Okay. These are probably the worst sounds ever. Okay. Let's try that again. Clear that. This is just to give you an example. Oh. Didn't I have a metronome on? Jesus. Okay, now let's try that one more time. Here we go. I'll come back to this angle here so that I'm not just staring at a screen. Come on. Okay, so you can still hear it. Okay, there we go. Now why isn't that playing? Okay, there we go. All right, so then what would happen is you'd get to the end of this. Okay, so now what I'll do is I'll let it go through to the end. So as I've just played it, let's just pretend. And then as it gets to the end, you would quickly go to export. And then you would go to the loop factory and you would hit A1 on your pad. And then you would keep it just like that. And then now what you would do is you would go to your track mute. And you would unmute the track. And then what you would do is you would just clear it. So you clear it, and you'd unmute the track, and then when it comes back around, it does nothing. What just happened there? Okay. Oh, my thing is making all kinds of noises. Mute. What happened to my sample? Did I send it to the wrong place? Come on. Where did my sample go? Okay. Let's try that again. Make this shorter because this is taking way too long to explain. Okay, and then you export it. Program 1, keep. And you go to your, and then it's unmuted. So and where is our... Okay, now I'm confused because we don't have... I was just doing this before. All right. Forget this. I'm not sure what's going on with that and why that's not working, but I'm going to go over to track number 17. Track number 17 is the one I was mapping for this episode, and I was trying to make sure that we had the ability to do this mapping. So right now we should... Okay, yes we do. Okay, you can see right here. Oh, make this zoomed in a little. now it wants to shut off on me. I'm having some problems here today. Okay, you can see that right there. Oops. You see the little red mute right there. So that is a momentary, just like that. I wish I had the, do I have the split screen? I do. Okay, so that's just a momentary. So I'm going to show you real quick how to do that. So what you do, I wonder if I can leave this one up. Okay. All right, so what you do is you're going to go to your MIDI control. So when you go to your MIDI control, and that's blurry, and it's not in focus, and it's way too bright. Okay, yeah. All right. So now that you're in, now that we're in this MIDI control area, first thing we're going to do is going to create a new pad. So I've got pad number 1 and pad number 2 both mapped already. So I'm going to go to pad number 3. And what it means by pad number 1 and 2 is this one and this one. That's 3, that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. So what I'm doing is I'm mapping these pads to this circuit so that when I'm in the looper, I don't have to come out of the looper in order to unmute it. So that'll keep the it'll keep it free flowing, hopefully. So all I did was the first 2. So I'm just going to do number 3. So I chose pad number 3, and then you go to MIDI learn. Actually, let me make sure. Okay, so then you go to MIDI learn, and then I'm going to add another, oops, not that. I want to add another MIDI learning, whatever you want to call it, process. Okay, and then so when I go here, this first one, do you see where it says source in there?
Source A01.
Okay, so the source is going to be the pad, so I'm going to choose
A01.
And it says
Target pad mute.
Pad mute. Source A01. It's not track. It's not a track. Type. I wrote this down so I could easily do this. So program. So I need to go down to the loop factory. Okay, that's the loop factory. And I'm going to go to pad, bank A, and then I'm going to do A01 because the other one that I had looped, mapped wasn't for the loop factory. So the next one down says, I can't read that. The target.
Target is pad mute.
The target's going to be pad mute. So let me go to pad mute.
There we go.
And then
the type is going to be toggle.
Okay, so this is where we learn it. So what you do is, oh, whoops, can I do that? So what you do is you hit learn up top here, and then I'm just going to hit number 1, the first pad here, and then we should get some sort of data pop up. There we go. So we got some data that pops up. And I got something on my screen there. Okay, so the next thing we have to do is turn this into a toggle, not a note. So even though we used a note, we need to turn that into a toggle. So I'm just turning the wheel. There we go. Toggle button. Okay, and that one is done. So if I go to the loop factory, there's a loop factory, and I go into the pad mutes, it should, there you go, you got your red. And that's just me hitting this. Okay, now we're gonna go ahead on to number 2. And now that we just did that, it should be a lot easier. Oops, wrong thing here. Okay. So we're gonna add another one. First I'm gonna go back. And I want pad number 2. And then this one. This source again was
AO1.
Was program, right? Program.
I think
Loop
it's probably
factory.
AO1.
No, because that's the. Let me see what this one was. So it's gonna be AO2 then. Oh, I must have. Ah, there we go. Loop factory, pad, AO2. Okay, and then that one. Man, hopefully I'll be able to remember how to do this. I guess that's why I'm doing it on video. And then learn it. And then I'm going to hit the second pad. Okay.
And type.
And then the type, I'm going to go to a toggle. Okay. And then I'm going to go to, just to double check that it worked. And then there it is. It's working. Okay, so now we got 2. Got that one and that one. Okay.
Q is asking, do the NPCs have unlimited groups or banks?
Banks, I think we got 8 banks. The groups I'm not sure about. I've never really messed with the groups, to be honest.
Opportunity for learning?
Yeah, that's something that I'll definitely get, I'll find an answer to, or I'll write it down. Okay. And also, what up, Q? I don't know if you were here in the beginning. I played your track, bruh, that you sent over, and
You said awesome intro.
yeah, cool. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and add another one. I'm gonna do, this is program, and then go down to the loop factory, go pad. This one's number 3. And then I'm going to learn it. Boom. Oops, I didn't hit. Learn it. This is the whole reason why I'm doing this, is so that I can learn. Whoops, did I just change that? I did.
Are you AO1 again? Or what?
No, 3.
No, it flipped to AO1.
Oh, it did? Thank you.
Oh my gosh, actually.
You just
did
contributed.
something right.
Big time. Okay, AO2, that was AO3, and then pad mute. Okay, and that's a toggle. Okay, so we're good. Now we're going to go to, we'll do another one. So we got 3. So that's my kick, my hat, my snare, my...
Can they see that?
This?
Say it again. That's my kick.
Oh, the kick is here. Then your hat, your hi-hat, your snare, the bass line, and because these are all going to be loops, the lead, the synth, and the vocal, if there's a vocal. So these will be mapped, and this will be, I won't have to do this again, hopefully. Hopefully I can save this when we're all done. I guess we'll find out. All right, so this one, we'll go back over here. We'll keep going here. We're doing number 4 now, and we'll be done here in just a minute.
I've witnessed many a non-saves.
Yes.
It's,
oh my God, it's
quite
terrible.
Tragic for everybody.
I was in Thailand, and woe is me, I was in Thailand. And yeah, I had worked on something. Shout out to Eric Hawk. He's a instructor at Berkeley College of Music, and he was my instructor. So we were working on something, and he had sent me some stuff, and I was going all out. Also, Mr. Basic, you guys all, and Inky and some others sent me a bunch of samples to take to Thailand with me and do this huge thing. And trust me, I attempted. We went to the top of a mountain. Like, we did all kinds of on boats. We were taking video all over the place.
We were in a resort, and he was sitting in the room. I don't want to say playing. Working.
Working
on the Sims for hours, and then the moment where he realized he lost it because we were about to go do it. Go have you produce the music at the top of a mountain or something.
We're going to take video at the top of the mountain afterwards so that it could be a really cool shot.
You literally clutched your head.
Oh my God.
You realized you erased it instead of saved it.
No, it ruined. It really did. It like ruined. It ruined my whole day. And then part of the next day I was pretty upset. You can tell some more stories. That would be better than watching me do this.
Well, I can say, luckily, I can make my own entertainment when the synths take over.
Oh, you're all...
Which they always take over. No, that's fine. I'm good. I've worked all day.
People want to see you. Okay, all right. Okay, so we got 4 here, and I'm going to go and do 5.
The worst thing is trying to go through security.
Oh, God. Tell that story.
Before he had a proper case, we went to Mexico, and he used a military bag and fashioned it into some weird-looking
you should go get
looking contraption that looks like it would pretty much be good to carry a bomb. And to go through security and have people take it out and just be like, yeah, it's a music machine, and, you know.
Yeah, don't try to go through security with something that's oversized and electronic and
in a knapsack.
And then when they asked me, you know, to put my stuff on the belt, I had a water in my bag, and I didn't want to go through because I know how picky they are about liquids and stuff. So I turned around and I started walking away from the security with my water to go throw it away, and they freaked out. They're like, you can't do that. You can't.
You just wandered off.
I did. I just wandered off.
I was like, have you not met TSA?
Oh, that was a bad day. I
made him promise, though, if his Mpc got seized, that we were still going.
Yes. Yeah, I took the X with me to Mexico, and yeah, that was a fun trip. Okay, so we're getting there. Tell us another story. I got 2 more to do.
I don't know. You pretty much have a synth wherever you go.
Oh, you're telling stories about me still?
Yeah. What stories do I have about me? I'm a psychiatrist.
Let's hear about that. I have a friend. His name is Phil. What up, Phil? Him and I have been talking quite a bit recently. That doesn't mean that anybody else that talks with me needs to get jealous. I love you all the same. But Phil and I have a lot of similarities, and Phil has a very similar story, and very similar. His wife is doing some things similar to you, and it's very cool.
You want to show the screen?
Yeah, we're getting there. Pad mute still, and we're gonna go ahead and learn that one because I think we're on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're on number 6. Oops. That did not learn, did it? Number 6. Pad mute, learn. Okay, we're not getting any learn.
What are you trying to do?
Just learn. Just trying to learn it. That's what it's called. Try one more time. Okay, so I'm gonna have to transfer this.
No, it worked.
Yeah, because it didn't want to do it on this other pad. Okay, so that's good, and then I'm gonna turn that into. We're almost there, guys. One more. And this is helpful. I mean, if you're like me and you're always looking for easier ways to do stuff and you don't want to learn it yourself, you know, you just want to learn it from somebody that knows how to do it, that's the quickest, easiest way to learn something. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Pad number 7. And then we want to program.
He'd still be doing this. I remember when you had, was it the Mpc, what was it called, 850 or what?
1000? Mpc 1000?
The one in Brewer?
Yep.
Yeah.
And an Mpc 1000.
And it had a tiny screen, and he managed to fix the screen to make it much bigger and have a different display, but he would always be working on it, and we were doing long distance at the time, and he would call me and up in arms about something to do with MIDI. And I didn't have the heart to tell him. Like, for years I didn't understand what MIDI was, but apparently it was really frustrating.
Yeah, it was.
You know, of course, I was just like, why would you do something that frustrates you? But I guess that's passion.
I lost my... That's not what I wanted. So I did something wrong here somewhere. I think I changed something. What did I change? Oh, crap. Uh-oh. I better go back. Oh, I'm just kind of trying to figure out what I did wrong. Pad mute, toggle. And let's see here.
You need to have AO7 as the source.
Here we go, pad mute. Okay, there we go. And then I'm going to learn that. No, it doesn't want to learn these ones down here. This is... Somebody can probably tell me why. But
there you got it.
The circuit doesn't want to learn, doesn't want to send MIDI. Did this one send MIDI? I don't think that one worked then, did it? Do we have different number values? No, look, 62 and 62. Those are the same. Okay, so I'm going to put this one up here. And
this also has a wrong thing. It says momentary something.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Let's see this. This was the wrong one. This does not need to be a momentary. It should be a toggle. And then
they say women are better at multitasking. There you go. That's
yeah,
more evidence.
That's very true, actually. Toggle button. Okay. Oh, this one is supposed
now
to be
the numbers are different.
toggle. Yes, that's what we want. And toggle. Okay. So they're all toggle. Right. Okay. Yep. And let me make this so it's not blurry. All right. So basically what we've got now.
Save it.
She says save it. Okay. So what we got now, let's see if all these work. This is pad number 1. Yep. Okay. I'm going to zoom it in a little. And okay. Pad number 1. Good. Pad number 2. Good. Good. Did that? Oh yeah, yep, that one worked. Good. Okay. Uh-oh, that one, I don't see that one anywhere. Okay, that's all right. So I did something wrong on the last one, but that's okay. I'm just
You
gonna...
also move stickers and stuff.
Yeah, I did. That's okay. All right. All right, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We got 6 mapped, and that's fine. So now this is all we got to do is we got to go. I should have had an overhead thing where you could see all this. And actually, let me do this. If I tilt that up, though, that's going to make it so that we can't see.
I'm just getting quite close. Just back up.
How's that? All right. Okay, there we go. That's something. All right. So I'll show you again. Oh, let's see if I can do this split screen thing. Okay, so we got
Big Will says,
boom.
what are you working on?
Big Will. We're putting some mapping up some buttons for the looper. I'm about to show you right now. All right, so now we're going to go over to the looper by holding down Shift, and I'm going to hit sample. And let me back this out so let's see if that helps. Yeah. Okay. This one. I wonder if I can make that. Yeah, okay. All right, so now we got this Volca. And this Volca sounds terrible. This thing sounds like garbage.
Well, you bought 8 of them.
Yep. Entertain the folks. I'm gonna grab this other one.
Sorry, I got nothing.
Tell them another story.
I like about the time you put me on the spot and told me to entertain people.
That's not a good story.
Okay, I'll tell you a story about how perfect is the enemy of good.
Yeah.
But perfect is great, but it's the enemy of good.
Alright, so I grabbed this keys. This sounds a lot better. I definitely should have put some presets together.
You want me to make a note of that?
You can.
Make a list of some other things that you should do.
There's plenty of stuff I need to do. Alright, let's see. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to start with the bass line, and I can't see anything, so I'm going to try to do this. Okay, let me turn down. Let's see here. I'm going to put it in unison. I like that. Alright, let's try something with that. Okay, let's try that. Oops. Of course, I had to screw that up already. There's a loop. So that's our loop. So now I'm gonna first of all, I'm gonna put split screen so you can see what I'm doing a little bit. I need to uncrop that. So I'm gonna export, and then it's gonna go to loop factory, number 1. Keep it. And then I'm going to clear that. And then what'll happen is if I go into the pad mixer, it's not muted. Something's happening with the transfer. Where is? Do that one more time. I gotta figure out why this is happening. It's not how I intended it, but it sounds all right. All right, now let me stop it and let me export it and see what is happening here. So I'm going to show you guys what's happening here because this needs to be dissected. So it says new sample, okay.
New looper sample, loop factory.
To the loop factory, A1, that's fine. And so that's, yeah, so when I keep that, now that should be in the loop factory. And it is. But you know what I did not do? I started out this video by triggering these on a different program. So we don't have any triggers. So first of all, I'm going to apologize. And then, so sorry about that. And then I'm just going to go ahead and trigger these. Okay, so now I know I got 8 of them. I got at least 8 triggers. I know I only got 6 pads, so I'm good now. All right, so now I'm going to go back and I'm going to start over. Okay, now it should be no more problems. Let's hope. Okay. Okay, well, let's see. Did it work? We're doing 2-bar loops, guys. Okay, now we're good. I promise.
It still says 2 bars.
Yeah, because I had it on 2 bars. So up here, you got 2 bars inside the looper, but I had a 4-bar project. So now we got a 2-bar project and 2-bar loops. So if I want to do 4 bars, you can do 4 bars, but I don't want to do 4 bars because it's a demo. Okay, so I'm going to go, first what I'm going to do is make sure that all of these are muted. So I'm going to mute them again. Oops, wrong one here. Boom. Uh-oh. Okay. That was weird. I guess the circuit might not be the best way to go. I hate to say it because I know a lot of people like these things, like the circuit, but I'm having a tough time just getting these toggles to work properly. All right, so let's go ahead and, okay, are they all muted? Let's see one more time real quick. Are they muted? Okay, that one's muted. Can you tell? Are the first 6 muted?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is it the bright red?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
all right.
at the bottom, right? The 4 at the bottom,
yeah.
and then 3 above it.
Yeah. Okay, so here we go. Now they're all muted. So this should be, again, this should be all set. Let's try it. Here we go. This is what I was saying at the beginning of this, that I think I cracked the code. This is not easy stuff. This is something that nobody's been able to figure out yet. So you might be witnessing something that's never been done. So work with me. Here we go. Hope this works. No, it still didn't do it. Okay. What I keep noticing is I'm doing something wrong because, oh my God, I know what happened. All right. I know what's going on. Okay, let me explain this. Go up to your program, your program edit, and you go into the master. No, that's 16. I was thinking that was on mono. why did those strike green and those strike red? I wonder if that has something to do with it. All right, here, let's try this again. Okay, it worked.
Eyewill says, are you in pad mixer? And I believe you are.
That's exactly right, Will. You're right.
But then
So-
I was right too.
Why were you right?
Because I said I think we are in pad mixer.
Nice. Can you turn up the big, see what that blue light is? Can you just put it up a little bit for me?
Okay.
Never mind. Thanks. Okay, so Will. Okay, so Will, you're right. You're exactly right. That's exactly what was happening. So go ahead.
All right. I'm going to peace out. I have to work at 6 a.m.
Okay,
So
go ahead.
thanks for having me.
See ya. All right, so you're exactly right, Will. So what I was doing wrong was that I was unmuting the track, and the track was already unmuted. I need to unmute the pad. So when I set up that mute right there, that's what I'm trying to unmute, is that. So let's try this again. So let me go here. Okay. Let's try that one more time. Oh, let me just erase the one that's there. Whoops. Okay. All right. Let's try that again. Whoa. Turn that down. Here we go. Jesus, it's still... Why is that so loud? Okay, here we go. Okay, we got one. I just need to find... What I really need is to have something that does more than one sound. I guess I do need that. I think I do need this thing. Alright, I got a bass line, so I'm gonna plug this thing back in. Alright, I'm gonna try to layer a couple of these without stopping, because that's the whole point. Let me double check. So we got these muted still. That one's muted, muted. Okay, so now I'm gonna do, because I labeled them hi-hat and stuff like that. So, all right. So the second one I have is hi-hat. So that's a reasonable hi-hat. Okay, let's try that. My fingers are way too big for this thing. it's tough to record it and get rid of it at the same time. Yeah, so, I mean, I'm doing it, but it's the circuit. It's actually the circuit that's the problem. It's not the looper. When I'm placing these in the project and I'm unmuting the pad, it's not clear whether or not the pad is unmuted because the pad on the circuit are so soft, I can't. Sometimes it does trigger the mute to turn off, and sometimes it doesn't. So, or sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. So I definitely want to use a different controller, one that I can tell if it's been triggered. Like if you had the ability to use a controller that will light up the pad, it'll keep it lit up like a toggle. And you can do that on the MPC, but I need these pads. I can't use these pads to trigger the pad mutes and use it in the looper. At least I don't think I can. I may have to do a little bit more studying on that, but so the process is to start out with, you know, your record armed, and then what you're doing is you're recording it in, and then as it gets to the end and comes back to the beginning, you have time once it gets to the end and comes back to export it to your pad. But your pads have all been triggered already. So your pads are already triggered, so you don't need to go in there and trigger it. So once you've exported it to that pad, it will trigger even if the looper is still triggering the looper that you've created if you haven't cleared it. So you've got like two competing exact identical sounds, and that's what I'm trying to avoid is the you know, that phasing that happens or that distortion that happens. I want to be able to have the sound that I just recorded, I want it to delete itself after it's triggered by the pad. So it's possible to do. I've got all of these notes. Whoops, geez, that was loud. I've got all of these notes. So, and these notes, yeah, I can't see them because it's too damn dark. These notes are definitely gonna help me to get this figured out. I was hoping I was gonna be able to do it during this episode. This was not actually what I was gonna do for this episode. This episode was gonna be a viewer request episode. I've got the sledge in the back, this big black thing, and the force. I was asked if I could do a setup video on the force and to do some presets on the sledge. And I was messing around with this looper, and I got it to where I thought all I needed was like another 45 minutes or hour to figure it out. And I'm still not there. So, you know, it was a good effort. I tried. I think what I'm going to do is have it dialed in perfectly, and then I'll come back on here with a proper controller that'll handle what I'm trying to do. Not that the circuit isn't good. The circuit's really good, especially at the price point, but it's just not what I need for this application. I need to be able to trigger the pads, to unmute them, and then know for sure that it's unmuted. Because if I clear it and it's not unmuted, then you have to wait for it to go through the entire sequence before it will trigger it. You can't unmute it partway through the track and, that won't do anything, because if it's not unmuted at the trigger point, then it isn't going to work. So, yeah, big fail. That's okay. Big fail. F for today. But I did learn a lot, and that's what this is about. So if you hung around here thinking you were going to get game-changing information, come back next time, and I will provide you more. So, let me take a look and see. Okay. Q. You're my man, bro. Q's my man. Let me go over here. I'm just trying to read these. I have to get so close. Okay. Yeah, so... Oh, what's going on, Dylan? I see Dylan's in here. And yeah, so Big Will. And yeah, I appreciate you guys, man. You guys are always there for me. Appreciate it. And you know what? I'm gonna get this dialed in, and when I do, this is gonna change the game. This is actually going to change the game. This is going to make the Mpc X and Mpc Live a force, not a force. Well, yeah, it kind of will make it a force, because then you'll be able to do live looping in real time. And I'm going to get this. Nobody's done it yet. I've come the closest, and I'm going to get it. It's going to get done. So, guys, thank you for being here. Please tune in. Starting a new show, and got my first guest coming up at the end of the week here. So you guys need to tune in. Thank you for being here. If you thought this was lame and you thought that this was a big fail, then this isn't for you. I connect with my subscribers. My subscribers are not a number for me. You guys are my friends. So I appreciate you guys for being there, and I'll hit you up next time. Hit me up on Facebook. You can come find me. I will create on YouTube, on Facebook, and, whatever. I'm also on Instagram. So go find Q. Leave your info in the comments, bro, because you didn't send me anything to put